Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay. Princess of Swords. You're in a mode of learning right now. I feel like you are challenging old beliefs, you're challenging old opinions. You're kind of open to like being wrong, you know? Sometimes this card is about allowing ourselves to not know the answers, allowing ourselves to make mistakes, right? So I feel like you're very, very forgiving of yourself right now. You're saying, I'm doing something big. I'm doing something bold, right? Doing something beautiful. I may not always get it right every single time along the path here, right? Whatever you're trying to manifest, I think is a lot closer than you think. And it's because you have this attitude of self-forgiveness, really. And it comes from kind of like a self-love, right? So this card's kind of asking, like, if we really love ourselves unconditionally, are we willing to allow ourselves room to make mistakes, room to fail, room to say, I don't know, room to grow and learn, right? So are we realizing that we need to put a stop to something, right? Maybe have been in the past too critical of ourselves. Maybe we've been too harsh with our very own souls when we make a mistake, that we sort of, beat ourselves up when things don't go right, okay? Thinking that it's our fault, we blame ourselves and this sort of thing. Maybe we're blaming others too. It works both ways, I guess. But what are we willing to stop doing? What are we willing to allow ourselves to kind of to stop doing, right? So I like this card for you. I think it was unexpected, but I think this is a very good start. Let's see what else is going on for you right now. There we go. 9 of Pentacles. That manifestation is a lot closer than you think. We got a 6 of Cups inside. You love yourself, Leo. You love yourself. We've got the devil energy behind you. Yeah, the devil's climbing the mountain. And look, you're almost at the top. To me, a 9 of Pentacles is one step away from the 10, right? One step away from the summit of that mountain. So you're experiencing visible signs of progress. As long as you allow yourself room to grow and learn and fail, ask questions, admit, I don't know exactly what I'm doing over here, but I'm going to keep working hard at it with this attitude of gratitude, an attitude of love and self-forgiveness. And really, really like, you're giving yourself a really big hug here. Spirit, I think, is giving you a really big hug. Anyway, let's put the rest of our cards out. We've got the Death card. We've got the 3 of Swords in the future position. This is what we're looking at, and this is the need for forgiveness, the need for letting go. This is what the Princess of Swords is looking at, trying to deal with this. Because this is something goes wrong, I blame myself, right? Maybe this card even, because of its connection with memory and our history and our past, this could be that we're looking at the ways that we self-sabotage, and the Princess of Swords is saying, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to recognize when this 3 of Swords pops up, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to choose love instead. Okay? When we're looking, and so it's good that you're looking at this, because this card usually hides either behind us or beneath the surface of awareness. But you're looking at it head on. You're looking forward. I know she's looking the other way. The energy is moving forward this way. So you're facing these challenges. We've got a 5 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups. Again, this is the energy of what we don't want, right? And so it is, it's associated with that 3 of Swords. And finally, we have the Ace. We have the clarity. We've got the addition to the 9, right, that we need. We've got the clarity. We've got the level-headedness. We've got this enlightened approach to things. Okay, and it's because you're choosing to recognize the challenges. You're recognizing the 3 of Swords in front of you, and you're choosing to forgive yourself. You're choosing to not allow our history, our past, our complexes, our upbringing, these psychic complexes or patterns. We're not allowing them to control our evolution, to control the progress and development that we're making here. So you're taking really you're taking an ownership of yourself in a way, right? I think this is really, really excellent. Let's select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right. Oh, let's go over here with little tiny Bob Ross on that happy little card. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, please put your prediction in the comments. Okay, let's do it together. Let's use our intuition. Anyway, looking around the room, we see 2 major arcana energies. The Devil and Death. Really 2 of the sort of the most feared cards of the tarot, right? And I'm kind of smirking because, you know, you've got both of them. And these are the kind of the most evil cards of the tarot. They're not. Don't freak out. These are good cards. These are very powerful energies in the universe. Now, we could use them incorrectly. Sure, but we could do that with any of the major arcana of the tarot. Okay? This is the most powerful force in the universe, because this is what is driving you forward. This is the engine of the universe, the engine of the car. Okay? It could be used for good or evil. It's the engine. It doesn't care where you're driving it or where anybody else is driving the car, but the car is going to go somewhere. So this is our motivation. We could be motivated by greed and violence and all this, nasty stuff, or we could be motivated by the creative process. We could be motivated by our love, by our gratitude, by our sense of community and connectedness, right? We can be, why do we want to get to the top of the mountain? That's kind of what this card's asking. So again, a very powerful, motivating force in your life. And the Death card is the fundamental process of the universe. It's the nature of nature. It is change itself. Okay, the fundamental force. That everything is changing, will change, and will continue to change. Nothing is static. Okay, this is the card of transformation, of birth and rebirth. This is the card of evolution, transmutation. Okay. And it's sort of, I think, in a way, we're looking up at this death energy above us, and we're thinking, I better get a move on. It brings Castaneda to mind, and Don Juan, Carlos Castaneda. And this idea of death as an advisor. It's like we're looking up and we're acknowledging that, yeah, one day our particular configuration of material energy is going to dissipate into the ether, okay? Literally, this card. So realizing that, we all know that. All of us here are mortals, I think, most of us. So we're kind of using that as an impetus toward change, toward saying, you know what, I gotta be done with beating myself up, with not forgiving myself, with being too hard on myself, with letting this 3 of Swords kind of rule my life. I've got to be done with that. We're looking up and we're thinking, however much time we have left, hopefully we have hundreds of years left in our lifetimes, right? It's never going to be enough. So let's just start now. And let's clear away as much energy as we can, much of the negative energy. To me, this card's kind of doing a banishing ritual, trying to get rid of all of that all the nasty, negative energy, low vibrational stuff. That's coming from the Three of Swords in your case, okay? And the way that we're going to get this, the way forward for you, is to face all of those things that hold you back. What are those things you got to stop doing? What are the things you have to stop telling yourself? Because you love yourself unconditionally, Six of Cups. That Three of Swords needs to be recognized, and you need to say, get behind me. Right? Get thee behind me, right? And what that is putting this back here with that devil energy. It's saying, if you're going to be an obstacle in front of me, I see you, and I want you to be back here motivating that goat. I want you to be behind me, pushing me forward, not blocking my way. You see what I mean? So this is kind of, I think this is the final test for you, the final battle, the final challenge before you really get the manifestation that you're after. That Nine of Pentacles is so close, right? Anyway, so we have a little bit of fire. We got some water. We do have a bit of air energy. And then we've got our earth cards, of course, right? So this Nine of Pentacles, the visible sign of progress, I think you're going to be experiencing really a spectacular amount of gains, progress, growth, right? Whether we're talking physically, financially, or mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, creatively. It's a 9, right? And so to me, the 9s always represent all the dimensions of our lives, okay? I kind of think of them, the 9s as a 3, 3, 3. Okay, and the bottom 3 is, of course, physical, financial, and then you've got your mental, emotional, and at the top you've got your spiritual / creative, gains, work. The work you're doing is paying off in one or all of those dimensions. Okay, and so it doesn't really matter what you are doing. I think that it's not about anything specific. It's not just saying, oh, your job's going to give you a raise this week, Yeah, that may be part of it. This is everything. This is every dimension of your life is seeing improvement, okay? And I like this card. I like the 9s so much. Even the 9 of Swords to me it's a very challenging card, but it's useful. But this is abundance. This is saying everything that we're doing right now is working, and we got to keep working it. And we got to understand what the obstacles are to it working, okay? And again, this could be physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, or all of these things. The readings I do here are not so specific where it's like, oh, this is about your career, Yeah, the career's in there too, but this is a life reading, okay? I don't do love readings. I don't do career readings. A reading is a reading. It's reading your energy. Depends on what's dominant in you right now. Depends on what your focus is truly in life at this time. Maybe you're focusing on your romantic relationships. Well, then you're going to get some gains. You're going to get some growth there. Maybe you're focused on your career. Well, Nine of Pentacles. You're going to see some growth there. Okay? Life isn't so fixed. It's not so focused. It's not like, well, right now I'm just doing my career, which means I'm not doing anything else. Really? I don't think so. So when people ask me, well, what kind of reading is this? Love reading, career reading? Can you be specific? No, life doesn't work that way. Life is a complex mix of energies, but we may be able to see what's dominant in you right now. And it feels like what's dominant is not so much the romance, but the either the health or the wealth, I think, because of the nature of the pentacles. Even with the 4 here, we're trying to reach some stability, in our lives. We're trying to reach maybe a particular degree of financial stability, but this could be stability in your relationship too. So, in other words, I think we're trying to maintain that in every dimension of life, career and romance, if that is part of your configuration right now. Okay. So anyway, the 9 of Pentacles and the Princess, of course, is trying to identify those things that we need to sort of let go of, be free of, be forgiving of in ourselves. If we, again, with the 6 of Cups underneath, if we love ourselves unconditionally, what do we got to let go of? What do we have to look at and say, get thee behind me? Okay, in other words, we're sort of sublimating all of this And we're allowing that to be part of our motivation rather than part of our blockage. Okay? Negative thoughts and feelings, right? The memory of negative events from your past that we tend to relive. And it could be that it's our insecurity, it's our fear, it's our upbringing, it's all the negative stuff that's accumulated in us for over the years from the way we were raised and, from society or whatever. And we all have these unconscious complexes. Thing is, you're bringing them into conscious awareness. You're looking at them and thinking, get behind me and push me rather than push against me. Right? Be the wind in my sails, not a whatever they call that one, the opposing wind, right? And so the princess, like I said, is learning how to forgive ourselves, learning how to give ourselves room to make mistakes, giving ourselves room, like looking at when I make a mistake, let's look at it. Maybe we do something that if we look at it, we realize that, okay, maybe that's kind of like coming from a place of fear. Maybe that's some sort of self-sabotage, or maybe something else is getting in my way. Maybe when I do make a mistake or I stumble a little bit, I end up getting really hard on myself. Instead of just bouncing back right away and getting back to the work, getting back on the saddle, maybe it lingers too long. Maybe I take it personally too much, right? Whatever it might be, we got to let go of it so that we can continue to see these gains. So this is really a very practical approach to your goals, because this is saying, like, and they say, like, don't take it personally, it's just business. I kind of feel like that's how we're talking to ourselves. We're just like, okay, when I make a mistake, I just got to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to take it personally. It's just business. What would I tell my friend to do if it were my friend that happened to? I'd say just let it go. Just get up and get back to it. Don't sit there and bemoan your situation. Just get up and go. Keep going, right? You can do it. It's not a big deal. It's not a setback. You can just keep pushing. I think that's how we would talk to a friend that we cared about. We wouldn't want to see a friend get so distraught over anything, really, right? Even if it's something worse than that, even if it's, let's say, a breakup or even a job loss or something like that, we're kind of saying, look, yeah, let's forgive and let's move on. Let's work through it as quickly as we can so we can get back to our energy. Okay. The Six of Cups is that self-love. The Six of Cups is, like I said, it feels like a big hug. Yeah. And it feels like you are very aware of your value. And so no matter what happens in life, we're not losing that sense of value. Okay? Even if there is a setback, even if there is something that we don't necessarily cause, but we have to encounter it. It's a challenge, it's a difficulty. And by letting go, by focusing on the love, realizing that even if something challenging happens, it's not a judgment of my value, my worth. Okay? And so we have this deep, unconditional self-love that is at the root of everything. It's at the foundation of everything here. You deserve, right, to succeed. You deserve this manifestation, and you believe that. Even if sometimes we start to question it, or sometimes these complexes get activated where we say, maybe I don't deserve success or happiness or growth, right? You're saying, no, I do. I do deserve it. I do deserve it. And I think with the Death card up here too, you're learning how to quickly let go of things. You're learning how it's kind of like, you're on a boat, you're on a boat and you're sailing down the river. I just kind of picture like one of those old ancient Egyptian boats, right, sailing down the Nile. And you're pushing down the Nile, or I guess up the Nile. These challenging events happen, and you just you see them sail by you. It's an old meditative practice, where you might be meditating, you picture your thoughts and your feelings as clouds in the sky. And every time you feel something, there goes a cloud and it just passes right by you. I kind of look at it as like crocodiles in the Nile River, And we're sailing on up the Nile, and all the stuff that happens to us, it just goes right by, because the Death card is a steady force of change. It's always moving forward. And so we're able to quickly have a challenging situation, feel the feelings of it. I'm not saying we're denying the feelings. No, you're looking right at them. You're looking right at the issues here. And then you're sort of, because of the self-love and because we're going to choose to consciously be aware of what it is and let it go, it's then moving behind you. And it's sort of like, and then the crocodiles start chasing the boat. And of course it makes the rowers of the boat want to row faster, you know. And so it kind of is like we're putting it behind us, and it's just going to motivate us. It's going to keep pushing us forward more, faster. We're going to just pick up speed, right? And to me, that is how we're sort of pushing the river a little bit here. Okay, we're making the conscious choice to say, you know what? I don't have a lot of time. I don't care how old you are either, by the way, Leo. You could be a teenager. You could be 120. The idea is we don't have time to waste on being stuck in this kind of a snare, this kind of a trap, right? Caught in the loop from our past, our complexes, our tendencies, these repeating patterns, the way that we sort of internalize everything that happens, and it ends up dragging us down, slowing us down too much. The Death card appears kind of saying, like, we don't have time to waste on that. Okay, we don't have time to waste on that. A good practice for you, especially with our Princess of Swords, is maybe we write down some things, okay? There's a practice where we kind of, we write a letter to our younger selves, right? And we write a letter forgiving our younger selves, right? About whatever, right? About choices, right? That maybe we've taken personally before, choices that we may have made that maybe led us to heartbreak or loss or something. Write a letter to your younger self, forgiving your younger self, and then you burn the letter. Or you dissolve it in water or something. Write it on tissue paper and then just watch it dissolve, watch it burn away, right? And with that dissolution or that combustion, right, we're sort of we're releasing all of the guilt and all the stuff that goes with that, okay? And it's sort of lifting off of you, okay? I think that's a really profound practice, and the Princess of Swords can be a bit of a writer anyway, okay? And you have the Ace of Swords, which to me always reminds me that the pen is mightier than the sword, right? Your pen is your sword sometimes, okay? But that Six of Cups is saying you deserve it. You love yourself enough that you deserve this, okay? And it is a card of connection, family, friends, community, okay? A sense of wholeness, a beauty, and a harmony, okay? Now, the Devil card in the background, what's pushing you forward? Well, this is your motivation. Are you motivated toward a creative act? This is a creative drive. It's the driving force of your life. What is driving you forward? Is it the will to create? Okay. I feel like it is. I feel like this, you're making this is your push. You're creating a life. You're creating yourself, maybe physically or financially, maybe in terms of your relationships, okay? You're creating something here. And this is sort of pushing the river. This is nudging the river forward, okay? It's your drive. It's the engine of the car. It's the oars on the boat, right? And we got to wonder, like, okay, what really is manning the oars? What is rowing the boat right now? Yeah. And that's your driving force, and I feel like it's very creative. You are a creator. It doesn't mean you have to be artistic. Maybe you're like me, you don't really have much talent for art. I can't draw, I can't paint or anything, right? I'm okay at music, I guess. But you're a creator, no matter what. We all are. We all are. We just have to understand what we're motivated by and how do we turn that into something good and loving and productive and, and then we start making the success. And this is where you are. So you've done all of that. Okay. Now, Path of the Serpent, Five of Wands. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are totally free. They don't cost anything. This is your ability to regulate the speed of the boat. It's a Five of Wands. This is how much you fight. And whether you're showing your strength and sort of baring your teeth or if you're stepping back. If you're showing your strength by being silent, being quiet, being reserved, or if you're out there pushing harder and faster and that sort of thing. So I feel like this is how fast we are going to row the boat. how fast or slow. We may have a surge of energy where we're going to just row faster, 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 faster. And then maybe we're going to catch our breath and we're just going to go back to a slow and steady pace. It's like me on the recumbent bike. You know, there's some time on the bike where I'll just get a burst of energy and I'll pedal as fast as I can, you know, like, I don't know, like 100 revolutions a minute. And for me, that's fast. And then of course, I'll sort of get winded and I'll slow back down to a nice 50 or 60, you know, and I'll keep the pace that way. And I'll have a burst of energy and go forward. So you have that ability to sort of to calibrate yourself. You understand the dynamics in your life, and I think that's very important. This is a bit of a, I don't know if your friends would say you're a bit of a hothead, but I feel that this is usually aimed at yourself. Like I feel like you have a very low tolerance for nonsense. Yeah. And sometimes when we make a mistake, or we fumble something, or we have any kind of a slip up, or any kind of anything at all, right? We get mad at ourselves. And this is that card that's saying, I need to recognize that, and I need to be able to stop doing it. It's not that we can prevent it from happening all the time, right? Because sometimes it's just a reaction. Something happens, I get mad. But if we recognize, oh, hey, I'm in an angry vibration right now. Let me take a breath. Let me pull that back. Let me count to 10. Let me close my eyes. Let me put my hands under water, right? Something tactile, right? Let me fan myself, right? Just the sensations of our body sometimes will help us calm those heightened emotions down. Yeah. Sometimes chewing gum or chewing something with texture, you know, like seeds or nuts or something, right? The crunchy stuff will help us as well. A lot of little tricks that we can do, you know. Sometimes just movement, sometimes just walking, sometimes if you are, you know, an active person, you can go for a jog or something like this, right? Just the kind of something to put you in your body, I guess, yeah. Anyway, the Four of Pentacles is in the position of your environment and the position of your relationships. All of your relationships are becoming more stabilized. You're understanding, like, how do we keep things safe? This is a card of safety, security, stability. We want safe, stable, and secure relationships, right? We want healthy relationships. We want good habits with our relationships. We want to have good routines with our people, and we want to, like, you know, we have a, you know, every Friday we go out and you hang out with your buddies. Every Tuesday you have a sort of a secret date with your partner, you know, things like this. Like it's these routines that we have in life that sort of keep the consistency there for us. And I think it's showing that you have a lot of care about your relationships. You have just your relationship with yourself too. Good self-care routines, habits. It's kind of like saying, hey, every night, you know, I wash my face, I put on my lotion, I maybe even self-massage. Okay, that's something too, especially when we're in a sort of Five of Wands, self-massage, doing stretches. Like I feel like you have a good routine for your self-care, and you also have a good relationship with your people, with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your pets, your plants, your people, right? Because your relationships are becoming more and more stable, more and more solid, powerful, impenetrable. And when we have this in our lives, both internally with ourselves, with other people around, with our life, when our life has some sort of consistency to it, okay, we're more easily able to fend off these kinds of things. We're more easily able to say, okay, I need to look at this because this is something, especially these two, well, these three really, these three cards, you know, if I let them, they're going to upset the stability I have in my life. So I need to recognize these before they turn this into a Five of Pentacles. Okay? So we're paying attention. We're paying attention. Okay. Spirit's telling me that something on the wall of your house is missing or something. There's like an empty spot on the wall. I don't know if it's next to another picture. But I kind of feel like, you know how in the movies or something, like they'll take a picture down and it'll just be like a little outline of it because of the change of the colors of the wallpaper or something. I feel like something's missing from your wall. I don't know if something fell or broke or if you took something down, you're getting it replaced. something along those lines. Or if it's the spot where that's where you're going to put your accomplishment, that's where you're going to put the diploma, that's where you're going to put like the first dollar of your new business or something along those lines, right? Or the picture of the new version of yourself or something, right? There's something going to go on the wall there for you. The Eight of Cups in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to go sinking down into we don't want the pessimism. We don't want melancholy. We don't want to let the Three of Swords turn into a Five of Wands, and then we sink into a Eight of Cups. Because the Eight of Cups is kind of like saying, I didn't get it, and that's it for me. You know, this is kind of we've resigned ourselves to just not doing it. And to me, this is kind of a lethargic, almost apathetic kind of thing. And well, maybe not even apathetic. Maybe that's giving it too much credit. I feel like this is downright pessimistic and kind of just, we're wallowing in it. Okay? And maybe we're prone to this. Maybe there is this tendency to take things very personally and hang on to that negative stuff, and we linger in it, and we start to feel a bit pessimistic about our life. And this is, this is hard to deal with, and maybe these types of moments linger on too long. Okay, so this is the energy we do not want, and that's what the Princess of Swords is trying to realize, trying to notice that. Because these two especially, these are challenging cards. Sometimes the Five of Wands here is just saying, you know what, I'm going to be motivated. Even in those days where I don't feel motivated, I'm going to motivate myself because I love myself. You love yourself so much that you're willing to stand up and fight against the negative energy. Okay, to keep pushing through. Okay, so I think your final test here really is coming from something from your past, from your history, from your unconscious, from complexes, from things that the internal stuff that is very often it's difficult to notice. It's difficult to see it. It happens, and then we just kind of think, wow, what just happened, right? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why do I feel this way? Because by nature, they're unconscious. By its very nature, these are things that happen, and we don't see it until after it happens. Okay, but you are getting your Ace of Swords, the clarity. Okay, as much as the Princess of Swords is trying to understand life and trying to see, okay, I don't know everything, and I need to give myself room for failure. I need to give myself room to sort of stumble. I need to forgive myself. This is you getting the clarity, getting the answers, and I think really freeing yourself from especially the sort of the mental energy. I want to do real quick a Language of Flowers affirmation card for you. Resignation. Say goodbye to what you no longer need. Yeah, I think when we get into these emotional states and we start having these kind of thoughts again, negative, let's say low vibrational stuff, we need to ask ourselves, do I need it? Do I need that right now? Like some days I'll feel kind of depressed for no reason, right? And I try to ask myself, do I need this feeling right now? Like, what is this doing for me? It's not necessarily even asking, why do I feel this way? Because it almost sounds like, woe is me, So I just think, do I need it right now? Is this serving me in any way? Is this making me happier, healthier? Is this saving me from danger? Is this like protecting me? Like why? What is the purpose of this feeling? Do I need it right now or not? And if I don't, if I can't figure out anything to do with it, I'll put it behind me and I'll start doing something else. I'll say, well, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to, I don't know, maybe I'll throw some cards down. Maybe I'll just get up and I'll go for a walk. Maybe I'll do some breathing. Maybe I'll say, well, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do something physical, in my body, whether it's taking a hot shower, taking a bath, doing a cold bath or something, or some sort of exercise, or even pressure points, acupuncture kind of stuff, like tapping. I tap a lot, mainly for the rhythm because I'm a drummer, but for the sort of soothing energy of it too. And so we say goodbye to what we no longer need. We don't say goodbye as in I'm forgetting you. We say I'm forgiving you, get behind me and help me push. You know, it's like when you're fighting with your spouse in the car breaks down, you guys are in the middle of a fight. You say, you know what? This fight is silly. Get out of the car, help me push the car. You know, it's the same kind of thing. And so I like the clarity, because to me this feels like it is a psychic breakthrough for you. Right? You're seeing your way through this. You can't get through this kind of a subtle issue, this subtle challenge of a Three of Swords. You can't get through it with brute force. You can't get through it by just working harder. It's a mental breakthrough. It's a mental psychic enlightenment that's working on your behavior there, working on in your best interest. And you're getting these gains. I think this is amazing. I want to look at the mystery card. Maybe a 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, maybe the Ace of something, right? Maybe an Ace of Pentacles to go with your 9 of Pentacles. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Oh, would you look at that? That is the Strength card. This is your power card. Leo, this is the card that rules your zodiac sign. Okay? This is a card of strength, courage, bravery, pushing on, but it's also the card of loving ourselves, right? We've tamed the beast in a way. We're showing compassion to ourselves, and we're real. It's kind of like, you know, it's like a dog of the neighborhood that everybody thinks that's the meanest dog in the world. That's just such an angry, evil, vicious dog. No, it just needs some love, you know? It just needs some self-love. Now, definitely don't go near any vicious dogs, right? They'll bite you. It's the compassion with which we're able to come together in a sense of wholeness with ourselves. We don't want to repress our instincts. We don't want to deny what we might feel inside. We want to embrace it, accept it, love it, show it compassion, and say, now you're going to help me, right? You know, you imagine taming the lion, and then we got the lion on your side now. Now the lion is your ally. So now we're learning how to use all of these tools, all of these things that we're noticing about ourselves. We're able to not cut the cord and abandon them and reject those parts of ourselves, but incorporate them, integrate them. We're showing the beast inside compassion, love. We're giving ourselves a great big hug. And this gives you strength and courage because you're in control. Spirit, your soul, your higher consciousness, your true self is in control and can choose to move forward and to embrace your own divinity, you know. And I think this is amazing. I got goosebumps. This is a good one. This is a good one. It shows a lot of courage on your part and the strength with which you are climbing this mountain and your ability to love and accept yourself just the way you are. Yeah. And how to forgive ourselves and love ourselves. You know, we're not trying to change ourselves necessarily, right? We're maybe taking what we have and we're reconfiguring. It's alchemy. We're taking ourselves apart, purifying it, putting ourselves back together. We're not getting rid of any parts. Okay, we may be putting the dust off of it. You know, we're cleaning, shining things up a little bit, but putting ourselves back together. It's alchemy. We're not changing ourselves necessarily. We're just reconfiguring things around. We're taking all of these issues, and instead of them being underneath you, sabotaging you, we're recognizing them and saying, get back inside of me and help me push forward. I love you. You know, how many times do we say that to a Three of Swords experience or feeling, I forgive you, I love you? I mean, we're saying that to ourselves, okay? Anyway, let's do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link up top and a link down below. New readings for Leo Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. So just come see me again tomorrow, okay? Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.